Okay, but we could, I mean, you could in some way, let's say that we more or less address the issues that you were asked to address. At the same time, tonight we will try to identify the three that reading them we thought were better framed, better written, more clear, and so on. So now what we're going to do is that we will ask, first of all, we will ask to our guest, Carlo Papa, who is the director of NN Foundation, to say hi to you and present himself. We will give a lecture tomorrow. And then we'll go through the videos. So we will present one video at a time. And then after each video, we'll have 2-3 minutes of Q&A. We have to finish by 7. So we have to stick to the time, okay? So let me first of all introduce you to Carlo Papa, who is NL is the supporter of a PhD. So it's great to have him here to be here.
Hello, everyone. Just a quick ones. I'm very happy to be here for 3 reasons. First of all, because I studied my PhD focusing on climate change when it was not fashionable. Actually, my boss and my wife sometimes is the same. But there was not, a big things to do. Actually, I pay my life, my living through my studies. Second, because as NL Foundation has first of which I was saying we supported and believe in this venture from the very beginning. And the foundation is a tiny think tank stemming from a large corporation that is working in energy. And third and foremost, because after 14 months from November 21, when in Academia LHA, Yus Pavia and the rest of the partners launched this program. Now it's 14 months. For those of you that have kids or without kids, 14 months is when you define a kid's toddler. He or she is starting to walk. And suddenly you turn around and it's running. So there would be, and there are bumps on the road, something that we can, fix it. But it looks like this program is starting with Start to Fly. And we should think about starting to fly not only international, thanks to the many of you that have come from other countries to study here, but also to let the program fly at an international level. And our effort as a foundation and my effort personally is to look at in some shape or form internationalize this program. So I look forward to enjoying your video and best of luck with the prize. I have seen the prize, they are pretty interesting.
Thank you very much, Carlo. Okay, so we are going to go on reverse order. We start from team number 10, showing the video. So we're almost there. I think we're missing only maybe one video. So team number 10, why don't you stand up here? Team number 10. Okay, just stand up for a minute. Show yourself. Thanks, very good. Let's see video of team number 10. Silence, please.
Second, I need to share on the Zoom. That's the volume. Maximum. Okay.
Good evening. We are the members of a new research institute called the Next Santa Fe, based in Santa Fe, Spain, and we would like to introduce our newest research called Pedro, which stands for
Yes. Microphone.
Ce la fa? Questo è su Zoom o... No, sto mandandolo qui. Da qui. Altoparlante.
Possibility of endless development.
Technical issues, guys. So you have more time to upload your videos. Yeah. Qua. Acceso perché i microfoni li usiamo. Quindi... No.
Research to solve nowadays problems.
Three main research areas are climate justice, green and circular transition.
Good evening, we are the members of...
please. Ok, dai. Yeah.
Good evening, we are the members of a new research institute called the Next Santa Fe, based in Santa Fe, Spain, and we would like to introduce our newest research called PEDRO, which stands for Possibility of Endless Development and Research Organism, and so research to solve nowadays problems.
Three main research areas are climate justice, green and circular transition, climate resilient development. An example of what PEDRO can do, which is a digital twin, is to perfectly predict the climate in 100 years using both a perfect mathematical model, which is based on coupled chemical, atmospherical and physical model of our planet, and perfect initial data.
Concerning the second point, so that is green and circular transition, we can say that PEDRO is powered by 100% renewable energies, and it is able to suggest actions that aim to reduce and then avoid global warming because it works in a holistic, systemic and homeostatic approach. And it is able to contribute to risk assessment and eventually avoid climate hazards. And it is also able to track various phases of the supply chain production, for example, to let people make their decision and purchases in a crystalline way. And for these reasons, we propose this project now to you, that are the European Commission, and we ask for funds.
Okay, thank you very much. So using Slido, at the end of when we have seen all the videos, each of you will indicate the three best videos, okay? You have three choices to make, and then we will collect all the answers, and the winner will be receive the prize. Okay, so this is your NP6, please. Everybody, the Slido, this is the number for Slido. If you go on Slido. Okay, we move to
Number 8.
Oh, do we have questions for team number 10? Is there any question for team number 10?
The faculty can have questions at the documents.
No questions, okay.
May leave them for later,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Okay, so let's move to
Available seats here. First line.
team number 9.
No,
So,
8.
8. Team number 9, we are still missing your video. Where is team number 9? Where is your video?
Che manca solo un 9, andiamo avanti.
Okay, we move on to.
Upload it, it's not there. Vai, vado io.
Okay. You're uploading it.
Ok, apro con... Sì, ogni volta ci
Okay, so stop. So this is going to be team number 8 because we don't have team number 9 video yet. So team number 8, can you please stand up? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so
Alla fine non l'avevi venuto posto per te. Ok?
yeah.
Non vedo.
Anthropogenic action are highly impacting climate change, as we can observe in Alaska communities, which rely on fishing and hunting for survival, progressively seeing their fundamental human rights vanishing because of the climate emergency. So the main problems faced by the small communities in Alaska are disappearing sea ice, shrinking glacier, loss of permafrost, and changing ocean temperatures.
Alaska's energy economy is mainly based on oil and gas extraction. However, much more space has to be given to alternative sources like wind and water flow. Crop cycle modifications and new strategies for negative carbon footprint have to be set. Innovative CO2 sequestration techniques, methane extraction from permafrost, as well as harvesting vibration from machines' motion are solutions to improve air quality and minimize greenhouse gases impact.
The Alaskan government coordinates a green transition towards geothermal energy and hydropower. Sustainable finance is likely to speed up the process by boosting the level of investments involved. As a matter of fact, both private and institutional investors are likely to take part in the scheme. And furthermore, ESG coordinates for the involvement of local community in the company.
Concerning strategies for local human rights environmental defenders at risk, we propose a peculiar approach. Climate change litigation had deceiving results in protecting the Alaskan environment and communities, and the environmental human rights defenders, especially women and indigenous people, are exposed to risks when engaged in conflicts with corporations. Therefore, we propose a non-judicial restorative justice process, bringing all the stakeholders at the table: corporations, native communities, local authorities, and the federal government, to find an appropriate balance between conflicting interests while ensuring the respect of human rights.
Thank you, team 8. Questions for team 8. So why didn't you simulate diving into the cold ice water of Alaska? Okay, now thank you very much. It was great. So do we have number 9? Not yet. No. Yes or no?
No. 9.
So we move to team number 7. Okay. So can I ask to team number 7 to stand up? Team number 7. Team number 7.
Globally, livestock plays a significant role for human nutrition. However, the livestock sector has received increasing attention on many critical aspects, including the impact on land use and feed production. Since the world population is projected to increase rapidly, production must increase sustainably and address climate challenges. That is why this sector was chosen as the focus of our analysis, where the case study focusing on Italy can also be applied globally.
To estimate the greenhouse gases emission, a life cycle assessment was conducted, highlighting the most relevant impact categories, such as enteric fermentation, feed production, and manure management.
As part of the proposal strategy, my company is thrilled to be involved in this project. Our technicians estimate to install over 500 megawatt of photovoltaic system on kettle rooftops and produce 264 million cubic meter of biogas. This would lead to avoid over 700 kilotons of CO2 emissions.
In addition to the energy strategy, AI and remote sensing have been used to predict the impact of the mitigation strategies and to obtain near real-time information from land management.
As a vet, I think that this project can improve the quality of life of our animals.
Bye. As a farmer, I'm really happy of this project. First, because my cow have a good health, and second, because thanks to the certification of the quality product, my revenue is higher, and also because my neighbors don't complain about my environmental pollution.
The ultimate goal of this project is to promote good practices among farmers for increased sustainability. By proposing a strategy encompassing technological innovations, improved health for humans and animals, as well as communication with farmers and citizens, this ensures a sustainable future for dairy farms.
Thank you very much. Questions for team number 7? No, okay. So we are going to move to team number 6. Team number 6, can you stand up? There it is. Thank you. Okay, ready? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Use Meteo. Let's talk about the role of cities in reducing greenhouse gases emission and pollution. Forecaster, come here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon from Use Meteo. We will present you right now a new innovative study provided by the PhD scholar of use, in which through a causal loop diagram they have provided a systemic analysis of the main trends of biggest city in the world, and they found out some critical and exponential reinforcing loop, mainly due to material and energy needs and industrialization, but also from the increase in soil consumption. There are also some balancing loop that can challenge the population growth, due, for example, to urban mobility development, congestion, and the related health problem. Now we will call our expert Lilia, that will introduce us the main tendencies of air pollutants.
Thank you, Andrea. We are now in the most dense city in the world, Tokyo, Yokohama in Japan. Here you see a trend analysis of the most important pollutants from 2003 until today. We see a steep decrease in particle matter together with SO2 and also NOxes. But in the same time, we see an increase in ozone that can lead to severe health impacts.
It's true!
Excuse me. Is there something wrong? What's happening? What's happening? Is it COVID?
No, it's the particles.
Of course, it's not COVID. Every year is worse. Anyway, in this report, we analyze the 10 more bigger countries in the pollutants and the trends of its emissions. Like this, we identify the main pollutants for human health and propose 3 main solutions for the city: circular cities, urban agriculture, and energy communities, in the way to identify the biological dimension. See the report.
Thank you, Team 6. Thank you very much. We have questions for Team 6. No, I don't think we want to ask questions tonight. So we move to team number 5. So where is team?
Our topic focus.
Can you stand up? Thank you, team number 5.
Our topic focuses on climate change effects on Alps and to inform local authorities about what measures they should take to adapt to these changes. So first of all, we look at evidences. Based on evidences, it states that there is temperature amplification based on elevation, which is called elevation-dependent warming. Secondly, if you focus on localized regions, we see that there is increase in intensity in extreme precipitation events. Thirdly, looking at the temperature and precipitation patterns, we see that there is reduction in snow season. And because of the increase in temperature, there is a reduction in snow depth.
Regarding hydroelectric power generation in the area, connected to the issues that my colleague just mentioned, there is in the literature conflicting results and high uncertainties in the projections of this kind of power in the medium to long term. Given this and following a precautionary principle, we would suggest to go towards a more mixed approach for energy generation in the region with a strong focus on solar power. In particular, we would suggest to install solar panels on the surface of the already existing dams in the already existing hydropower plants.
Okay, considering impacts on biodiversity and forestry, certainly we have shrub encroachment, which is threatening high elevation environments, and an increase in intensity and frequency of extreme events, such as fires and windstorms. So as solutions, we propose land management strategies and forest sustainable management strategies, with also the implementation of prevention strategies with full management activities such as prescribed fires.
Then the ski industry is one of the most threatened by climate change, especially low-altitude ski stations are becoming more and more dependent on artificial snow that is unsustainable both economically but also environmentally. So it's clear that low-altitude regions need to find new solutions like ecotourism or other non-snow activities like trekking or downhill.
Thank you very much. Thank you, team number 5. So,
andiamo al 4.
We continue to team number 4. We got now the video from team number 9. We go back at the end. So the next one is team number 4. The 4 up, yes. Thank you. Okay.
Start.
Hello everyone, I will present case 4, that is sustainable mobility in the cities versus availability and life cycle of minerals and metals. We have a rangeado presentation with keywords, and I will start with diverse fleet. The mobility transition to happen should be wise and consider diverse fleet in the urban environment with a plethora of mobility application fields. The objective is to find for each need the most efficient shift measure. In a nutshell, for the vehicle sustainable transition to a more modern mobility mix, there is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Regarding the material scarcity, we can say that transition towards sustainable electrical mobility needs a huge amount of purified materials and metals as lithium, cobalt and nickel. Their access has different problems from production to commercialization because it depends only on a few countries. This situation brings out geopolitical, economical and social issues that needs to be addressed. Regarding data and models, we can say that high-skilled mobility experts are needed to take charge of the planning and implementation process for successful sustainable mobility. Municipality mayors and also mobility planners will need to work hand in hand to solve these challenges and to create a more a mobility system centered on the needs of people. For these reasons, we need several data like population, traffic fleet emissions, etc., but also traffic models that are needed to apply sustainable transport choices on a long-term vision. Sustainable mobility solutions should be oriented in shaping a transport system that is accessible and affordable to the individual in a just and fair way, both from the economic point of view, speaking about incentives, but also by a special standpoint. So I'm speaking about the access to charging station and infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you, team 4.
Andiamo al 9.
We go to team number 9. We're missing.
3, but I will.
Okay, we're missing team 3 video.
No, but we have it. Not
No?
here, but we have it.
No, we have it.
Yeah,
No, we have it. Okay. So we go to team number 9.
And now the opening of the new Italian.
Yeah. Thank you, team number 9.
And now the opening of the new Italian Research Center. Our correspondent with the director of the center and the responsible of its research area.
So I'm here with the PI and the research team. So starting with you, what this research center talk about?
So this research center aims to find out a disruptive solution to the problem that our world is going to face into the next year. This is based on the deep knowledge that we have on the sustainability problems, which in our opinion lies on 3 different dimensions that are environmental, social and also economic. So based on these trends that we have, we are working on 4 different lines of research that we believe are critically important for the future. The first is about energy, space energy. It's a disruptive solution that will allow us to have a lot of energy and overall is a clean one. Cyanobacteria is a double resource and a double utility. First, the possibility to stock a quantity of CO2, but also the possibility to produce a product based on the CO2 captured. Then, with the pool of economists, we also will rethink the welfare and we will build a new paradigm of growth. And finally, thanks to the help of philosopher, we will work on renewables and natural value. I leave the floor to my colleagues.
Reaching net zero is one of the most critical challenges that hasn't been solved so far. One motivation for pursuing a solar power system is that in the space the sun's irradiation can be utilized more efficiently than on the Earth due to the independence of the 24 hours day and night cycle and weather condition.
We work on a new economic model that drives our society despite some alternative proposal having been already presented and discussed so far. As strong and net change of direction is needed as well as the need to test it practically.
Moreover, the CO2 levels in the atmosphere have reached the highest historical value this year, and the development of a system to reduce those levels and at the same time convert the CO2 in more valuable compounds is highly required. Another important problem is that related to plastic pollutions. For this reason, we thought to develop a research line based on the employment of cyanobacteria and their ability to store carbon dioxide and convert it into bioplastics.
Renewables and Nature Value Center, we investigate the intrinsic value of nature in relation to the installation of renewables. For instance, we wonder how to take into consideration the interest of soil when installing renewables.
Thank you very much, team number 9.
Sì, però domanda a lui. Sì.
So we move to team number 3, correct? Yeah. Yeah. So where is team number 3?
Ti ho mandato un video da proiettare.
Sì, dovrei farcela. Adesso?
No, dopo.
Oh no. The journal also now it will be full of terrible information. Guys, this climate is changing and this is terrifying. I cannot sustain that anymore. I have to get more information, know more about it. You know, I have some people that could really help me to know what is really happening here. So come here, I will show you. Hi Marco!
Good morning everyone.
So you can give me some more information. Of course. What is happening here?
Of course. As you can see, in this map we see that the climate is changing and the temperature is going to increase in only Italy in 2015 from 2 or 2.5 or 3 degrees or more than 3 degrees. And in this map you can see the precipitation is going to decrease substantially in all the southern Europe and especially in Italy, as you can see, by 20 or 30% less.
So hotter and hotter, no water, but I mean...
Wait a moment, Minister. Tell me, I really like go snowboarding.
Yeah, but this is not summer, man. So in summer it's relatively hard to go snowboarding.
Oh, then I will go surfing.
Yes, it's even better. You can surf. There will be more water in the seas.
Okay, I see. These are the real problem. But what about, I don't know, hydroelectric power and the food? We need a lot of water for food. Maybe I should investigate about that. Let me think. I'll see you later. So people, I'm finally here at use. I've just heard some people talking about our topics and giving some answers. So let's ask directly to them. So what is the situation, Fatma, sorry.
Hello everybody.
What's the situation for agriculture and this water usage?
As I already studied, according to United Nations, the agricultural part is demanding the more water compared to other sections. It's around 7%. So we need to manage this water because we need the water for other parts such as energy. So we mean that even for the future, the demand for the water would increase according to the report. So
may I ask what is going to happen with Italy?
Oh yes, Italy. The situation in Italy will change in May because it's a time of cultivating the rice and maize. Both of them use a lot of water. So the farmers should go through the final solutions. I don't know, maybe finding another crops. For example, they can replace the alfalfa with ryegrass or cultivating the silage corn. You need less water compared to other in order to save in the water for the other section. As I mentioned, the energy part.
Okay, so we need a solution for agriculture, we need a solution also for energy, and luckily I just met some people outside here. They were talking pretty loud, you know, Italians, and they were exactly talking about this. So, guys, hi, we were looking for some solution for our water consumption. So, could you help us? Do you have any good news, maybe?
Yes. Yeah, Lorenzo. I for one think that we can reduce our water footprint by investing in less water-intensive energy sources.
Oh, like for example?
Well, off the top of my head, there is solar that uses 2 orders of magnitude less water per megawatt hour of energy produced.
Oh, that's great.
Wow, that's great. I would like to invest in your project. So we can create an energy community and then swap credits using tokens. Atlas, do you have a project where we can invest those tokens?
Yes, actually I think in refurbishment of buildings we can add some very simple shading and reduce the electricity consumption, especially for hot summers, for cooling, heating energy, by 70% annually.
Wow.
Yeah, but the problem that is, I don't know, people are ready for doing this or not.
That's the big question. Yes, we need education program, for financial literacy on one side to explain the product, but also, to create the awareness, to create the understanding, to prepare also the financial advice. So yes, we need especially education for that.
Great, great guys. But you know what? In the meantime, I really think I will start selling water. Good business.
Yeah, maybe bottled water. That's a great idea. But so we did some good policies, and I don't know.
Policy?
Oh, we have
Speak
some.
about policy.
Really?
Speak about policy.
I'm speaking about policies.
I am the policy expert.
Oh, that's great. You're also a policy expert as well. Okay.
What's the question?
Well, we need policies to reduce our water consumption, because in the future, or they should be, there will be a bunch of consume of water. So what could we do? Where we should focus? What we should prioritize?
Actually, the Italian institutions gives priority to water use for human being consumption and also agriculture and also animals feed. But given the scarcity you said before, the scarcity scenario, I think that the governance system of water has to be rethought, guaranteeing social justice and also distributional justice and distributive justice, guarantee equity for all of human beings.
Yeah, for sure. And probably we could start from Italy and then take our example and bring that to all the world. We know social justice is not a matter of Europe, of the Western countries. We should enlarge this to all the world. So maybe with this expert, we could do it. Wish you good luck, guys.
Team number two. Team number two. Here is team number two. Thank you. So at the end of the last video, check again all the numbers of the teams with the title of the topic, and then each of you will have a couple of minutes to vote using slide, okay?
Good afternoon from West Africa and Sahel News. Today we are going to speak about change in the precipitation pattern in West Africa and the Sahel, which is the area that you can see in this map. And today we also have the privilege to have an on-field reporter whose name is Wilfredo. Wilfredo, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. It's a weird weather today in Sahel, and to understand the situation, we are going to interview some experts from the University of West Africa. So now we are into West Africa University, and I am with Professor Davide to talk about what will happen in the climate in the Sahel region in the mid-century.
Thank you. For the temperature, most models agree that there will be an increase and also an increase in hot extremes. For precipitation, the data are more uncertain, but we can say that there will be an increase in extreme pluvial events. But there are some regional differences with the West Africa that will experience more drier periods and droughts.
I am with Dr. Sylvia to talk about the impacts of changing climate in the Sahel region. She is a medical doctor from the West Africa Hospital.
Hello, Wilfredo, and thank you. What can we expect from this changing climate? Well, first, we need to mention the direct physical and mental health consequences of extreme events, which may be floods or even wildfire in the dry region. Some other health issues of concern is the changing in the vector transmission of some of the diseases, and also malnutrition, which is strictly bound to the food insecurity and agriculture sector.
So I am here with Francesco. He is an agricultural economist to talk about the impacts of this changing climate in Sahel region to food security and local economy.
Hi, thank you very much. And let us just receive some disturbing news. Evidence suggests that the yields of the major crops may decrease by 9 to 30%. And there will be also some increases in food prices, so access to local and food for population will be very difficult. Also, there could be an increase of conflicts and migration of population, so no good news on this side. Bye, thank you.
To talk about the possible adaptation, I am with Anna. She is a lawyer and she will be focusing on the adaptation regarding finance.
Thank you, Wilfredo. So, adaptation strategies requires a focus on renewable energy to reduce the fossil fuel, and also a focus on the irrigation system for the agricultural sector. Moreover, it's important to attract both public and private capital to develop water management and the climate resilient cropping system. In the end, disaster risk reductions entails financial solution, which also involve the use of insurance or reinsurance schemes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much to our experts, and back to studio.
Welcome to our correspondents from the Maldives, who will talk today about the future of the islands.
So, Hiba, can you please comment on the environmental hazards the Maldives would be facing in the next 20 years? And what can you say about the future sea level rise in this region?
Well, considering the island as one of the flattest countries in the world, both direct and indirect causes of climate change can lead to hazards such as sea level rise, coastal inundation, extreme heat waves, and storm surges. Well, almost 20% of the island would be lost to the sea by 2050, according to the World Bank data source, even with considering the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions to net zero levels. Moreover, another 40% would be lost by 2100. It is predicted that by 2019, Maldives sea level would increase up to 0.4 meters. In this case, sea level rise can increase the frequency and severity of extreme sea level events, storm surges, wave inundation, and tidal floods in this region.
Thank you. And which would you say are the main risks for marine and aquatic environments and associated mitigation measures?
Well, basically, marine and aquatic environments are threatened by extreme storms, sea level rise, increase in temperature, and atmospheric CO2. Salt water infiltrates aquifers and raises groundwater. Another important threat is human pressure on coastal areas, such as unregulated fishing practices and tourism. For example, the use of sunscreens has deleterious impact on marine ecosystems. In this case, soft infrastructure improvements like ecosystem restorations of mangrove, for example, and corals were generally recommended over hard infrastructure projects like seawall construction.
And what adaptation measures do you suggest for Maldives to face sea level rise?
Well, as adaptation measures should take into account that climate change effects such as sea level rise and extreme events have a major impact on several sectors, such as the economy, energy, and water. For what concerns energy, floating renewable development and ecosystem services, focused land use management represents the main adaptation solution. For water, we recommend investing in rainwater harvesting systems and in the implementation of artificial recharge system. These solutions will ensure the touristic attractiveness of the island and thus the main source of livelihood of Maldives, ensuring the economic stability.
We have one last question. Who should welcome climate refugees and according to which criteria?
Well, different potential solutions have been considered: internal relocation or the creation of an artificial island. However, both solutions seem unlikely to happen in the event of a substantial sea level rise. In that case, external relocation to countries such as India, Australia, or Sri Lanka can be taken into account. However, which of them would be more suitable from a political point of view, economical, legislative, or even cultural? And above all, who's willing to pay?